back to Everything College. I'm your host, Christina Parker, supporting college navigation while minimizing debt. And so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about HERF, the Higher Education Emergency Relief Funding, but we're going to be focusing on private universities and online universities. So everything linked on, if I don't talk about your specific university, will be in the description. You can click that link and go and find your own university. If you can't find it, it's probably not there. Also, you can always call your university to ask them any specific questions that you may have. I hope that this video was helpful, and let's get to it. In order to find your university, you're going to want to go to www.ed.gov or just click the link in my description below. And then you're going to scroll down, and then you're going to see the student aid portion for public and nonprofit institutions. And then you're going to go to your allocation table. So when you go to your allocation table, it's going to bring you here. Before or after you do this, you do need to go find your OPE ID. And this is going to help you find and locate your school, because as you see, they're not in alphabetical order. But I did go ahead and do this work before. So I'm just going to show y'all me finding some with the OPE ID, and I'm just going to be telling you all about the rest. So for Azusa Pacific University, we're going to be looking it up is 0011. So also, I kind of show y'all like how it's a little bit tedious to find these universities. 117. Okay, so here's Azusa Pacific University, which is a private university, and they're receiving, the whole institution received $8.8 million, and this, the minimum students will receive $2.7 million. So Azusa Pacific students, if you meet eligibility, you should be receiving money. I'm not too sure on the eligibility. I might do a separate video kind of just talking about a whole bunch of universities I talked about in my little mini series, and talk about specifically like how much students can expect. But if you're looking for that information, I simply would look at your email, type in your university, do a quick little Google search, or go ahead and reach out to your university in particular. Universities have 1 year to spend these funds, which necessarily means that they do not have to spend these funds this semester. A lot of students have said that universities are prioritizing, or some universities are prioritizing people who did not receive it prior to this year. So like I said in my other videos, if you're one of these people, I encourage you just to ask, whether it's just putting in an application when they put one out there, or reaching out to your financial aid, asking them if they have any additional money that you can tap to. If they tell you no, asking if you can speak to somebody else, right? Because it really never hurts to ask. If you need the money, I really do encourage you to ask, because even if they did run out of HERF money, they might have another pot of money that students may be unaware of that you might qualify for. So I definitely encourage you to reach out to your university. And if you have any additional questions, or I didn't see or look up your university in this video, I encourage you to go look it up yourself. It's definitely not hard. If you look it up and you can't find it, it's probably not, they probably didn't receive any money. But if you think that they did and you need support, let me know, and I don't mind supporting that way. So the other university we're going to look up is Cal Baptist. So 0012 is going to be theirs. 0012. 00. Mm, 00125. So boom. So I have Cal Baptist. They received, the entire institution received $13.5 million, and students will receive a minimum of $3.9 million. And then let's just go look up one more. We're going to be looking up Walden University, which is, a lot of students did ask me for Walden University. So I'm going to go ahead and look this one up. This one is 02. So that means I have to scroll all the way down. It's a little bit tedious. That's why I'm not able to do everyone's, because of how tedious it is. It does take a lot of time in order to find all these universities. So that's why I always encourage people, right? Once you know about her, I just encourage y'all to look it up. But 0025, I really wish it was in alphabetical order. 2504. 504. 504. Wait, 2504 200. Oh yeah. So as you see right here, it should have Walden, but Walden isn't there because Walden did not receive no money. I don't think that they were eligible institution in order to receive money because I believe they're fully online institution. So for all those people out there, unfortunately they did not receive any money. The University of Phoenix is the same way as well. They did not receive any money. And the last one I'm going to be looking up is Lamar University or Lennar University. I don't remember. I think I spelled it wrong. They're 001355. And I'm not even going to go through the trouble of finding it because it's also not here. So that university also did not receive money. If your school is primarily online institution, they will not have received money for HERF. Unfortunately, if your university is a hybrid program and you are in remote learning, meaning that you are going to go in person, but because of COVID-19, you had to go virtual learning, you would qualify for funding if that university did receive money. But if you was in a strictly online program prior to March 15th, 13th of 2020, you would not receive money. You might be asking me why before the date? That is just the guidance that the Department of Education gave, specifically that those who entered programs prior to the national emergency being announced, they would be ineligible to qualify if they're in a strictly online program. But those, well, depending on also your university, because they have discretion over who qualifies, who's going to get priority, and so forth. So the information I'm giving you, is just is your university here? Is your university not? Not too much of the deep down details because it's going to differ from university to university. And a lot of these colleges, these community colleges and HBCUs and public universities and private universities, they did not post their 2021 information about HERF. So I wasn't able to tap into a lot of oh, this university is doing this and this university is doing that. But what I can tell you is that universities did receive, for the most part, unless they're HBCU, the same amount of money that they did last time. Meaning that universities are going to have similar structures and around how much they're going to give students. So I encourage students, if you're curious on how much you could potentially receive, to go look at the year before that and see how much you received, or last year, and see how much that students received, or think about how much you received. If you're how can I find this information? I always tell people to really watch your emails. A lot of the times this information is communicated through emails, and because we don't understand what it means or we don't have the time to read it, we allow these things to slip from our fingertips, And so it's really important for you all to check your emails, to do a Google search, and if no information is out there, to also call your financial aid or whatever department is carrying this money to ask them when will they give this money out, who would be able to qualify for it, and so forth. Also, I'm going to be doing another video on questions, but I just want to talk about this one. A lot of people have asked, what do I do if I miss the deadline for my university? So this is what I'm going to tell students. I think that if you miss the deadline for your university, I encourage you to still submit it. And then I encourage you to send the email. I was unable to do this application because I was sick. I was unable to do it because of stress from school. It slipped my mind, whatever the case may be. Reach out to financial aid or whoever is in control of that application and submit it, or whatever guidance your university is doing, and ask if you can have additional time. If they tell you no, I encourage you to reach out to someone else, because I always reemphasize this. Colleges are kind of like customer service in a sense. When you call to want to get your light bill down, right? Or when you call and you try to get the minimum or the whatever on something, right? You're trying to negotiate something. Sometimes the person that you're talking to isn't going to be the person that's willing to actually help you with that, or have the power to, or have the knowledge to do that. So it's always important for you to ask for someone who has that knowledge, because they might know something different, and it might, be able to support you in that way. And the only thing that you can hear, right? The worst thing you can hear is a no, but you'll never know unless you ask. So it's really important. And even if you hear a no this time, that should never discourage you to ask again, right? Continue to ask, because if you do need this money, there's nothing, it won't hurt you. Just ask, you feel me? But I really do hope that I answered a lot of your questions from TikToks. And I'm going to continue to make videos on her for the rest of this week. And hopefully you find it informative and you consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. As always, please stay studious.